Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 23 of Ultimate Tech Talk. My name is Joel Phillips, CEO and founder of ProShark and Director of Technology at Strategic Advisor Board. We have been looking for the last couple of weeks at CMS systems, and we've been looking at what makes them good, what makes them bad. We've been looking at security. We've been looking at performance. We've covered a lot of ground with regard to these topics and where CMSs fit into that. We haven't discovered really the scope across multiple CMS platforms. So we're going to finish off the series over the next few days doing just that. Looking at some of the things that you need to take into consideration when you're selecting a CMS, when you're building your website. Number one, websites are no longer an option, they're a requirement, and they have to be good. You can no longer just put up a one-page website and call it a day and expect people to come to that, come to you for your products or services. They have to be, the majority of people start their purchasing decision online, so they have to be enticed. The content has to be compelling. It has to tell a story. There has to be a customer journey. All of these things are the things we've looked at over the course of the last few weeks. So, number one, thank you for all of your comments, tips, questions, and suggestions. We certainly take them into consideration, and we appreciate the feedback that you give us. Please continue to do so by emailing us at techtips@proshark.com, techtips@proshark.com. So, all of that out of the way. Comparison. We will start with the elephant in the room. This is not, we are not suggesting that you pick your CMS platform, and whether you're going to build your site yourself or you're going to have somebody do it, it's still important to find out what platform they're going to use, because the platform needs to match your business, not the other way around. When you select a platform, it's got to be one that, number one, fits you today, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's the delivery, whether it's look and feel of the site, whether it's content, customer journey. That site has to match what you're doing today, but it also has to match you going forward, and you have to be able to grow. It has to be able to grow with you, not the other way around. You cannot force a square peg into a round hole. So let's start today by talking about the elephant. The elephant is WordPress. And most people start with WordPress because it's an inexpensive open source platform to start with. It does have some inherent problems, but it's at the top of the leaderboard for a reason. Looking back at the history of WordPress, it started, like I said, as an open source platform, and people, because it was the first large platform of its type, people started rallying around, and they are the market leader because people built plugins, people built builders that all fit within the ecosphere of the WordPress environment. That lends itself to problems. As we discussed, it lends itself to problems from a security perspective, because anytime you introduce a third party to your platform, you can't control how they develop their product, so you don't have control over their ability to make it a secure platform. So there's been a lot of hacks, and mostly because of the sheer numbers, but there's been a lot of hacks. There's been a lot of invasions into the WordPress websites, to the point where when you set up a WordPress website, the hacks will start immediately from there. The second component, and when looking at a WordPress platform, is performance. Performance didn't used to be such an important metric to look at. So WordPress, they allowed people like Elementor, Divi Builder by Elegant Themes, Beaver Builder, and several others. They allowed them to build builders that made it easy to create a page, made it easy to control the look and feel. But then when Google started penalizing for poor performance, those builders proved to be overhead that impacted WordPress performance negatively. So that's when they started back, when they first found out that that was going to be an issue, they started back with Gutenberg blocks and started creating WordPress from the ground up to help improve the performance. It has made strides and it's become a better product because of that. Unfortunately, that renders the builders useless, which detracts from the look and feel of the platform. Those are some of the con. Well, and there's actually one more con. WordPress to get into is inexpensive. It does take some technical know-how, and there's a lot of developers out there. If you're looking for a developer to build a WordPress site, there are plenty of them out there. So that makes it easier to find somebody, a lot less expensive to find somebody to build and work on a WordPress site. What you'll find on the flip side of that, though, is that the developers who work on WordPress can't control beyond adding a plugin, can't control security. They can control performance and optimization if they go back and they pay attention to it, but most developers don't build based on optimization. They build based on your requirements. So the other con is that as you add features via plugin to a WordPress site, it slows the site down because these plugins are added over the top of what exists in what's called their core product. So the other con is that some of these plugins, as you go into the pro version, most of them have a free version, but as you go into the pro version, the site can become a lot more expensive to start doing the things that you need to do as you grow. So those are the cons. The pros, WordPress does have pros. It's very flexible. There's, like I said, a lot of developers out there who work in WordPress. So you'll find it a little bit less expensive sometimes to build a site in WordPress. Although you still have to watch out for your scalability down the road. It does have limitations from that perspective. And the other pro is that it's a very feature-rich environment. So that's WordPress. We'll look at some of the other systems starting tomorrow. We've gone way over time again, so we're trying to keep this between 3 and 5 minutes. But if you have any questions, and we've done, just so everybody's aware, we're not bashing any one technology or another. And they all have different purposes and reasons for existing. WordPress, we built hundreds of sites in WordPress. That used to be our primary technology before we moved on to different platform. So we understand the WordPress world very well, and we understand that it's still a very viable CMS, and we're not in any way trying to negate that platform. So that is it for today. If you have any questions, please be sure and email us, techtips@proshark.com, and we'll be happy to answer them. Thank you very much. Bye.